right, good morning. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Port Discovery's Tuesday Pop-Up Playtime. My name is Mr. Derek, and I'm going to be running today's Pop-Up Playtime. So welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us this morning. Now, you might be noticing, what's Mr. Derek's background? It's very spacey, very science fiction-y, very futuristic. But then look at Mr. Derek's clothing. That doesn't look very scientific. That looks kind of older. Well, today we're going to be talking about inventions. Now, one of the best things you can do when you're at home is it's a perfect time to think and imagine. And that's what a lot of inventors do. Have you ever heard of what an inventor is? An inventor is a person that creates or modifies items or different substances and presents them. And they usually do that to try to make improvements and to help other people. And a lot of people have been inventing for many thousands of years. A lot of the tools that we use today and technology is based off of older inventions. In fact, there's even movements like Afrofuturism that tries to think about ways that we can look at the future and incorporate other cultures to influence that. So what we're going to do today is we're going to play a Inventors game. I like that idea. It's going to be a pretty cool idea, right? Now, we normally play this game in the museum, but since I'm at home, I'm going to do a modified version just like inventors do. Now, in order to do that, we're going to have to go back in time. So I've got my time machine here. Right now, we're going to switch it to backwards, and we're going to look at some items from a long time ago, and let's see if you can figure out which of these items belong together. So, give me a countdown. 3, 2, 1, here we go. My time machine is activated. Let's go back in time. Now, so how we're going to play this game, and you all can play this game right at home, is I'm going to play a game called One of These Things is Not Like the Other. So we're going to do 4 rounds. I'm going to hold up 3 different items, and two of these items were invented by African American inventors. You're going to try to figure out which of the 2 items were invented by an African American inventor and which one is the one that's the odd one out, the one that doesn't belong. If you're watching this now and you want to type in the comments what you think the answers are, you can. Or you can also watch this video later and play at home. So we're going to do 4 rounds, and then once we're done, I'm going to tell you which of the items belonged in the group. So for our first session, I'm going to hold up my items. So right here we have a wrench. So you can see we have got a wrench. We've got do you recognize what this is? This is a screwdriver. And we have an ice cream scooper, if you want to use it to get some ice cream. So what you're going to do is you're going to guess of those 3 items, which of the 2 items do you think were invented by an African American inventor? Again, they're the wrench, the screwdriver, or the mechanical ice cream scooper. I'm going to give you a couple seconds to figure it out. Again, if you want to type the answers in the comments, you can, or you can just write them down, and I'll give you the answers in just a second. Do 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 do. All right, let's go over the answers. So, which do you think were the 2 items that were invented by an African American inventor? Remember, our final choices one more time were either the wrench, the screwdriver, or the mechanical ice cream scooper. In my hands are the 2 answers. So give me a drum roll if you're watching at home. They are the mechanical ice cream scooper and the improvements to the wrench. Both of those items were invented by African American inventors. Jack Johnson was the one that made the improvements to the wrench. If you've ever heard of Jack Johnson, he's most famous as a professional boxer. He was somebody that boxed, that played sports. But he needed a tool that would help him loosen or tightening fastening devices. So he invented and made the improvements to the wrench. And as far as the ice cream scooper, that was invented by Alfred L. Crail. Now, he worked in a Pittsburgh drugstore. So a drugstore was kind of the old version of like what Walmart and Target is now. It's a place that people would go to get food and to get all sorts of items. And he spent a lot of time serving ice cream. It was really hard on him, so he invented the ice cream scooper, the mechanical ice cream scooper, with this handle to help him make it a little bit easier. So that was our first round. So for our next round, we're going to talk about some women African-American inventors, because not all inventors are boys. Girls and women have invented a lot of wonderful items that we use too. So these are going to be a little bit bigger. So we've got some hair products. For my friends just joining, remember, we're going to try to guess the 2 items that you think were invented by an African-American inventor. So we've got hair products. We've got, this one's a little bit bigger, so I'm going to move over here. We've got improvements to the iron board. Maybe your parents use an iron board to put their clothes on to help them iron out the wrinkles. And our last invention that you all need to guess, I'm going to grab it. These ones are a little bit bigger, so it takes a little longer for me to grab these. Do you recognize what this is? It's a little hard to see, but this is the step lid trash can. So some of you might have this type of trash can at home where you step with your feet and you open it up and the trash can opens. So let's see if you can figure out the 2 items that were invented by an African-American inventor. Again, they're hair restoring products, the iron board, improvements to the iron board, or the step foot trash can. Give you a couple seconds. If you want to write your answers or what you think in the comments, you can. Or if not, you can just write it down on a piece of paper and I'll tell you in a second. Do 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 do. All right, so let's reveal the answers. Give me a drum roll. And the answers to the 2 inventions that were created and by 2 African-American women inventors were hair growing products and the improvements to the ironing board. Those were the answers. Did you get them right? Let me know if you got them right. So, the improvements to the iron board was actually created by a woman inventor named Sarah Boone. Now, she didn't create the original iron board. She just made improvements. But her invention from 1892, that was a really long time ago, is still considered the most useful way for pressing shirt sleeves. So it just shows even older inventions are still used and can still be really cool and effective today. And as for Madam C.J. Walker, she was starting to lose her hair, so she started a business with different hair products. And in doing this, you know what? She became America's first self-made female millionaire. So Madam C.J. Walker, and Madam C.J. Walker's products are still out to this day. All right, for our 3rd round, we're going to do some food. So I'm going to hold up 3 different types of food. We've got our famous Amos chocolate chip cookies. Delicious. I love chocolate chip cookies. We've got some potato chips. Do you all like to eat potato chips? I love potato chips. And then we've got some tortilla shells. I love tacos too. So, of those 3 types of food, which do you think were invented by an African-American inventor? And all my stuff is falling. That's okay. So again, your choices are famous Amos chocolate chip cookies, potato chips, or a tortilla. So guess which of the 2 do you think were invented by African-American inventors? All right, I'm going to give you your countdown. I'm going to switch the song up. I'll do this song. Do 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 do. Which is the answer? One more time. Do 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 do. 5 seconds. Now I'm going to show you the answers. So the answers for the 2 types of food that were invented by African-American inventors are famous Amos chocolate chip cookies and potato chips. Both of these were invented by African-American inventors. Now, George Spek Crum, we don't know 100% in history if this actually happened. It's kind of a legend, but a lot of people believe that a customer came into George Crum's place where he was making food, and he was complaining about his French fries. So to get back at him, George Spek Crum fried them and made them extra crispy and extra lean, and which ended up creating potato chips. And as for famous Amos, Wally Amos Jr., had an interest in cooking when he was a kid. So even for my young ones watching, you can start your inventions even when you're younger. And so he took his aunt's recipe of chocolate chip cookies and he improved them. He added a lot of unique ingredients, which ended up making famous Amos chocolate chip cookies. So now we've got our final round, last round. So we're going to do a little bit of technology, because as right now, there's a lot of technology now that we're using, and even technology that's advancing and growing. There's stuff that we have now that people didn't have a long time ago, but they all started from somewhere. So I'm going to show you 3 last examples, and your job again is to guess which of the 2 were invented by an African American inventor. So the first one's a little hard to see, but this is a computer processor chip. These are the chips that you find inside computers that help make them work and run faster. We have a CD. So before phones and smartphones and iPhones and all different types of music streaming devices, sometimes we would record music on CDs. I remember when I was younger, I would listen to music on CDs. Some people still do. And this last invention right here are designs for a car. It's not the toy car, because Mr. Derek can't bring a real car inside my house. That would be pretty impressive. But this is just to represent designs for a car. So, again, your choices are the computer processor chip, the CD, or designs for the Chrysler car. Chrysler Dodge Challenger, to be precise. So, I'm going to give you 1 more minute, probably less than a minute, but we're going to give you a song, and I want you to try to guess. Remember, type in the comments what you think the answers are, or write them on a piece of paper, or think about them out loud as you're watching, and let's find out what the final answers are. Ready? Here we go. I figured I'd do the robots since we're talking about some technology as our thinking out music. So, the answers to our final round, give me a drum roll if you're watching, to which of these 2 items were invented by African American inventors are the computer processor chip and the Chrysler Dodge Challenger 8TRS, or SRT8, my apologies. So, the car designs was designed by an inventor known as Ralph Gills. He was 8 years old and he loved to draw concept designs. So a lot of inventors, before they actually make the object with their tangible hands, they'll draw it on a piece of paper to help them create it. And at 14, his aunt actually sent one of his sketches to the chairman of the company. And this is a company that he actually ended up becoming the president and CEO of when he grew up. So again, you're never too young to start thinking about your inventions. Who knows where they might take you when you grow up? And last but not least, we have Mark Dean. So again, like I said, this computer processor chip helps make computers really small and work a lot bigger. Because before, computers were really big. They could take up a whole giant building. But thanks to devices like this, we've got smaller computers. So as we go away, as you continue to go out throughout your day and play and learn, my play challenge for you this morning is to come up with some concept designs of future inventions of your own. So think about something, a problem that maybe you have, or a loved one has, or maybe your community has, or the world has, and how you could create something to help improve it. Or something else you can do is you can think of an item that already exists and think about ways that you could make it better. And again, your imagination is your limit. Don't worry so much about whether it will work or not. It's just fun to think about and imagine and conceptualize new ideas. And who knows, maybe one day these ideas might be invented by you and we might all be using them. So thank you all so much for joining me for our pop-up playtime today. I hope you had fun. I hope you learned some cool facts about some African American inventors, and check out and research other inventors from all sorts of cultures. You'd be surprised how many different things African Americans and all different types of people have invented. So if you have time, go with your parents, do some research, look up some more fun items, and make sure to check out all of the other fun stuff coming your way from Port Discovery Children's Museum. Again, my name is Mr. Derek. Thank you all so much for joining me this morning. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.